Hello. Today, I was just thinking about my Mary Kay business, and gosh, so many things have changed in our world. I started Mary Kay in 1982, and pretty much back then it was book parties and hold parties, book parties and hold parties, and I wasn't really given a lot of information about how to do that, other than to ask people. And then there's that part about, oh my gosh, I don't want to ask people. Or I'm only going to ask people that I think might say yes. So that really limited me. And, it wasn't really so hard to do a party because we had a flip chart and we still have a flip chart. And that's what I used in my first party. And it was very successful financially. Giving out the information was real easy because you've got that flip chart. And on one side, it tells you what you're going to be saying. And on the other side, it shows the guest, the information that you're giving them in a little bit simpler, broader picture. So, the giving the party and doing the party wasn't so difficult, and it's still not difficult today. It's just how do we want to connect with people, and that's the beauty of this business currently is like we can do virtual. And we, before the pandemic, I'm sure there were a few people doing virtual, but I wasn't one of them. And but a lot of people in our company started doing virtual, and of course, they started sharing how they were doing that through videos and audio and such. So that's what I started doing. Maybe not right away during the pandemic, during the height of it. I just kind of took a break, like a lot of people, and that's fine. That's another great aspect about being in Mary Kay Cosmetics. We are our own boss, so we can choose to work when we want to work. And that I love that because there's a lot of days I don't want to, and in the past there's a lot of days where I haven't, and so on and so forth. I went back and finished my college, my Bachelor of Arts degree, and I majored in art, and I'm so glad I did because I love to paint and draw. And like before Mary Kay, I didn't really paint that much, and when I was in Mary Kay, I didn't paint that much. I just always wanted to be successful in Mary Kay, but I just didn't know exactly how to do things. And I think that that's a big part of being part of this company is I think now, I'm at a point now where I'm figuring out what do I want to do with my business and how do I want to do it. So I started a couple of weeks ago. I heard somebody say to somebody that has been very successful in our company, how did you do what you did? And she said, just addition. She goes, I made the six most important things and I just kept, repeat, repeat, repeat. And the six most important things, I'm sure many of you have heard of that. You make a list the night before of the things that are important to you in regard to whatever, if it's Mary Kay or if it's a school project or if it's a house project or if it's a friend project, whatever it is, the six most important things to you. It was developed by, I can't remember this guy many, many years ago. Very famous guy, but just can't think of it right now. And he proposed that idea to a business person or something, and then that idea has transferred to many businesses over the years. And so anyway, I've never been a person that wanted to have structure, that wanted to do have a schedule. I just, to me, being in Mary Kay, one of the aspects that I really wanted was that freedom, the freedom to choose when am I going to work, how am I going to work, with whom am I going to work, that sort of thing. And so, and sometimes, you might have that general idea, but that general idea still needs a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of planning, a little bit, perhaps even scheduling. So I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that six most important things. And I'm not really, don't feel that I'm that great at commitment when it comes to, doing goal stuff. So, I've started a lot of goals, but then I end up leaving the goals a lot of times. So I decided that I would start the six most important things list and I would commit myself to doing it for a month and Monday through Friday, and I'm having my weekends off. And so that's what I have started. And this is my third week into that month. And I'm very happy doing that because I'm learning what's important to me, and it's still Mary Kay related. I'm still doing things that I think are positive. And basically being in Mary Kay Cosmetics comes down to two simple little things: showing, demoing, talking about, presenting our products, right? That's products, and then there's the opportunity. So those two things, it's presenting them, getting the idea, getting the information across to people, right? And in today's world, and in Mary Kay Cosmetics, Mary Kay, our company, gives us so many tools. We've got all kinds of digital stuff that we can just click on and send to people. We can text, we can messenger, we can email, we can audio things, we can video things, however we choose to do, or face-to-face or hybrid, whatever we choose. So we've got lots and lots of tools. And so what I'm doing is I'm figuring out what is Jan and Mary Kay like. How does Jan want to connect to people? How does Jan want people to connect with her? How does Jan want to be able to present the products? Because I do use the products. I love the products. I'm 75 years old. I'm not afraid to say my age. Yes, I've got wrinkles. I should have wrinkles, right? And I live in Florida, so that's a very sunny intense sun. And I was swimming yesterday, and I'm a walker, so I usually am out walking every day. I'm an outside. I love being outside. So, and I do wear sun protection, but my skin is such that I'm going to pick up sun anyway. But I'm not going to burn because I've got sun protection on. So I'm trying to figure out, what's right for me. What is perfectly right for me? So my 6 most important things. I'll just tell you what's on my list. To write something, in a notebook each day, however many, if I want to write a paragraph, if I want to write one sentence, or if I want to write a whole page or 3 pages, that's okay. Whatever I choose to write and to write about. The other thing is to read something, read something inspirational. If I want to read a scripture, if I want to read if I want to read a novel, whatever I want to read something. And again, it can be a paragraph, it can be one scripture, it can be a chapter, whatever I choose. I'm in charge of this, right? And then the other thing is painting. Now, those 3 things, someone looking at that list might say, well, Jan, how's that Mary Kay related? And it's like, I'll tell you how it's Mary Kay related. It's like, when it comes to writing, I may write something that I'm learning. That's what I wrote about today, is what I'm learning about doing the 6 most important things, how I'm connecting with people, or how I'm not connecting, or what I want to connect. And yesterday I wrote about my painting, and that's okay, because when we're dealing with people, essentially we're developing ourselves. We're developing ourselves so that we can relate to people, not with our agenda, but with what's good for other people, and to get to know other people and to understand other people, what's important to them and how we can help them. Because the word help, it's got multiple layers that maybe we have never even experienced of helping somebody. So, and I kind of came across that during, my journey. So anyway, the writing, that's it. Right. What, and if it's related to Mary Kay or if it's related to personal, it still matters. And then when it comes to reading, typically I've been reading a scripture or so, or maybe I'll read a chapter of the Bible. And I haven't always been, I've always been a person that is always a seeker of information and a seeker of faith, of wanting to believe. But I'm like a lot of people, faith is something, we don't see, evidence always. We see some evidence and we have to decide, is that spiritual, or is that just my thinking, or whatever, so and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good, because that's how we learn. And so I wanted to utilize the Bible, because I think there's a lot of good stuff in it. And I also think there's other stuff in the Bible that maybe I'm not going to understand. And I think that that's okay. I'm not really that worried about it. And so I've been reading things from Romans lately, and I like that. And sometimes Corinthians, and that helps me. And then when it comes to painting, you'll say, well, how does that creative act of art, and lately I did change it to art instead of painting, because sometimes I'll sketch, And maybe gardening is something that people like to do. That's art. Cooking can be art. Sewing can be art. Writing can actually be art. So if you just want to put something creative for yourself, that's really important, because that helps us be more who we are. And when we can be more who we are, we're going to project that to people, and that's, to be authentic, to be our real self. That's what people want. That's what I want from other people when I have friendships and relationships. And here's another thing about that is, like, see, many people, they don't, I'm not going to look at Mary Kay. They'll say, oh, I don't want to be in direct sales. I'm not a salesperson. But you know what? We're always selling. We're always selling. If you ask, let's say you ask a friend to come over for lunch, you're selling that friend on the idea of coming for lunch. If you have children and you ask them to pick up their toys, you're selling them on the idea of picking up their toys. If you have a husband that you want him to stop at the store or something to get something for you, you're selling him on that idea. So we're always selling, and we're selling ourselves and we're selling other people. So keep in mind, in Mary Kay Cosmetics, I want people to want to see me again. So I'm not going to be a person that's going to try to be an arm twister or talk somebody into something. No. If, I want to present it so that it's, the right products for them. And I want to present, when I talk about the opportunity, I want to present what's important to them, what's of value to them, answer their questions. But a lot of times people will not even consider listening to someone about direct sales, or, whether it's Mary Kay or other direct sales too, because they have an opinion, because they have a picture, some experience, or they have somebody else's experience, or they've heard this or they've heard that. And I say, until a person is doing something, they have no clue really how, and especially in Mary Kay Cosmetics, because it's so versatile. It's like what I'm doing right now, I wasn't doing 10 years ago. I wasn't doing 5 years ago. I wasn't even doing 2 years ago. In fact, I wasn't even doing some of this 6 months ago. Yes, I was making videos, but I wasn't making the kind of videos that I'm making now. And now, just the other day, I think, I can't remember what the first one was, but the second video I think I made was, making, you get some bread out, and, you take the tie off, and it's like, you set the tie down and you go ahead and make your sandwich or your toast, whatever you're doing. And then you go to put the bread away, and it's like, where in the heck's that tie? And it's like, I couldn't find the tie. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna make a really quick reel about this, with that first, and then the second part is going to be, but it's not that hard to find a Mary Kay consultant. You just go to marykay.com, put in your zip code, and there you are. So, and see, that was creative for me. That was fun. I liked that, and there was a couple other things that came to mind, and I did a similar thing with different subject. So I wasn't doing that last week, but see how, ideas evolve. And it's like, if I hadn't have said, I'm going to try the 6 most important things, and I'm going to put on that 6 most important things that are important to me. And then a couple days ago, I said, okay, so what if it's numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I can choose what order I can do those in. I don't have to, if reading's first, I don't have to do that first. I can do whatever I choose to do first. So it's been very simple for me to finish those 6 most important things. When Monday came around, the weekend seemed like it went so fast. And so I was kind of thinking that on Saturday, even Saturday's going really fast. Okay, Sunday's tomorrow, and then I got to go back to my 6 most important things on Monday. And so I was kind of even thinking that more on Sunday, a little bit off and on. And then Monday came, and I'm like, hey, this is your, I did the list Sunday night. I wasn't going to do it because I thought, well, it's pretty much, I put the same things on there each night, so I'm not going to, but then I said, wait a minute, you said that you were going to write it down, the night before, so Sunday, go ahead. So I actually did. I came back out the living room, got the notebook out, and wrote it, even though I was ready to get in bed. So anyway, see, discipline is something, I didn't ever like that word. I wanted total freedom. I don't want that discipline. But I'm finding that it's actually helping me. It's helping me get more done. And I'm not feeling like I'm doing, but I'm feeling like I'm doing things that I enjoy doing and that I want to do, and that are helping me. It's helping me to think beyond. And so even today, when I was thinking about my Mary Kay, I was thinking, with our world today, and people can shop here, there, and everywhere for products, how, if I was building my business, which I'm somewhat building my business right now, but I'm not in the throes of, oh, I got to build, I got to build, I build. But if I was, in today's world, how are we going to have new customers? How are we going to retain those customers so that they want to shop with us as opposed to shopping on other sites where they can purchase products too? And so I've kind of been thinking of that. And I think that, it's that being authentic so that we can, we've always talked about relationships in Mary Kay Cosmetics, and in many sales, organizations, that is a big part of it. It's that relationship. Just like when you go shopping, this doesn't happen too often anymore, but if you were shopping, let's say you were shopping for clothes, and someone from the store, came up to you and said, oh, well, it's nice to see you. Thanks for coming in today. What is there something, special that you're kind of thinking about? And so then a lot of times, we'll just say, no, I'm just looking. But the way that person, connected with you or wanted to connect with you in the beginning made it seem sincere, like they really did care. You might tell them, okay, I'm looking for a skirt. I'm looking for a skirt. I'd like to find a skirt with some floral pattern or something. And so then, that person can help you. That relationship, it gets a little bit closer, doesn't it? And they want to help, and you enjoy their help, and that's a good thing. Otherwise, you could shop online too, right? So anyway, basically, I am learning, and I'm really happy to learn. And this is just an impromptu video. I've already done my 2 videos for the day. That's on my list. But I thought I want to do another one. And I want to do some things that I want to just talk about some things that I'm thinking about. Maybe somebody else is kind of on that page too, or maybe this is going to interest or help somebody, because a lot of people need extra income. And in Mary Kay Cosmetics, we earn very, very good money for the work for our time and our effort. And the sky's the limit, and lots of people have earned big money. And when I work, I earn good money from my work. The perks in Mary Kay are unfounded by other companies. I mean, seriously, if you went through all the perks, not just a couple, but all of them, they are fantastic. I mean, they really are. This is a company that if you're looking for extra income, or if you're looking for big income, or anywhere in between, this is a wonderful, wonderful platform to be a company to be a part of. You've got a platform that's already set out for you, and you've got a company that they know that people can shop on all these other sites. Our company knows that. And so they're working to find, how can we stay relevant? How can we be where people want to come to our consultants to shop? And so I know our company is doing that, and our company is always putting out, oh my gosh, excellent products. And the products, sometimes people will say, oh, that's too costly or whatever, but it's not. If you look at the quality products that actually do something, and products that are safe for people, and the company that does so much good with their money, oh my gosh, you will see that our products they're a midpoint, if that. I mean, seriously. And I'm proud to be with this company. I don't have to keep working, but I keep working for a multitude of reasons. I'm not sure, multitude might be a bit more than, but it's, I want to help this company too, because this company's helped me. It's helped me become a better person. I mean, sometimes I say, I don't know I don't know what I'd be like if I hadn't have been in Mary Kay, but I've learned an awful lot over the years. But I started, like I said, in 1982. So, and many of those years, I did not work hardly at all. And some of those years I had, and I've had results, very good results, and I still have good results from my efforts. And I always say, if you put out that good-hearted effort, you're meaning well, you want to promote your products because you love them, and they're valuable, and they can help people look better and feel better and have great skin, beautiful skin, men and women. and you know that we have an excellent opportunity that can help people on whatever kind of person that is. It can help them wherever they're in their life, age-wise, or circumstances of their life, whether they're, lots of people in Mary Kay have cancer. I have advanced cancer. You know what I'm saying? Lots of people have all different kinds of health issues, and they're in Mary Kay. We've even had people that are blind in Mary Kay. I mean, sometimes you think, oh, how could that be? You got to know your colors and all this. There's always ways to figure things out, right? If a person wants to. And you learn so much, and you think about lip gloss. You're putting that right on your lips. That's personal, right? So if you want to, you can really learn how to deal with people and have really relationships that really do matter. It's not just giving lip service to somebody or some product or whatever. You can involve your whole heart in this, and when we involve our heart, that's one of the best things of being human. It absolutely is. So I hope that you'll reach out to me. If you have questions, you can reach out to Mary Kay Corporate. If you don't want to reach out to me, or if you know somebody, whatever's best for you, whatever's best for you. But thank you so much if you did watch, or if you are watching. I'm thanking you because you're actually watching. So thank you, and I appreciate your time. Have a great day.